The film is Josephine. I'm here with writer-director Beth de Araújo and actors Channing Tatum, Gemma Chan, and making her Sundance debut, Mason Reeves of Top. Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Mason, I have to start with you. How old were you when you shot this film?
I was 7 when I started.
7 when you started. And how old are you right now? 9. You're ready for your 3-picture deal at this point, I think. I'm curious, actually, just from a technical perspective, what goes into casting a role like Josephine? It's obviously a very serious project. And how did we end up with Mason?
Well, it's pretty involved. So I saw her at a farmer's market. I've sent Jennifer, her mom, home with a flyer. I said, look us up, and we'd love for her to read an audition. So, we got thousands of tapes. Mason's was the first one. I sort of had a feeling it would be her in the end. After the first audition, I specifically asked her parents to read the full script and then to have a conversation with me before the second audition so I could talk through my process, how this would be, how I would make sure to protect Mason if and when we casted her. We then did a second and third audition, and in between each, I spent a lot of time with her. I went to her jiu-jitsu classes and just we got to know each other a bit. And she's a very competitive young girl with her older brother. And then the third audition, we did the courtroom scene in a oneer. And then we also did improv. And it was when Mason did improv that it was a for sure for me.
I am curious that obviously this is a tricky film to discuss. What attracts you to a project like this? Why is this an important story to tell?
It's a very confronting film. It's a very challenging subject matter. But for me, from the first moment that I read Beth's script, I just felt that there was so much truth coming off the page. It really spoke to me, and I felt like it was asking some really brave questions. It's really asking, how do our young people, how do any of us really, how do we process the violence that surrounds us in our world? And yeah, I thought it was, when I met with Beth, I completely trusted what her vision for the film was. I could really see what she wanted to do, and really it's an honor to get to be part of a project like this and to make something that is so, comes from such a place of truth, and hopefully is really worthwhile.
For me it was Beth first. I adored her. Actually blown away by her first feature length, and then I read the script, and she was I was happy enough to get the scripts, and I was like, you really will consider me for this? And then I read it, and it really connected to me, I guess, a lot of my childhood a little bit, and how I saw so much of Damien, I guess, in my dad, and how he kind of dealt with certain things. And then as I kept reading and kept kind of digging into it, the lines were blurring in how I would think that I would deal with something like this. There's no way to know how you would actually do it, and thankfully I've never had to, sort of deal with this. I have a daughter, and I hope I never get challenged with that lesson in life. And I just wanted to be a part of Beth telling this story that was obviously very, very personal to her.
When I watched it, what occurred to me, the more I thought about it, was you're being very protective, obviously, about a child's perspective on an awful incident, but it's really not very different from how the questions that we would ask ourselves. And it becomes less about the age. Was there ever a moment, though, when you were acting with Mason and you're like, I better bring my A game here, or I'm going to get blown off the screen
all the
by
time.
this kid?
Every scene.
Every scene.
One, they tell you not to work with kids because, they're just, it's they're honest. They're truly just who they are. They haven't learned, so much about how to act in a way, in a different way than just their truth. And I got to play around with her a lot, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
I think there was something like, because Mason was so present and everything, it made us especially present and just completely in the moment, and hopefully more truthful.
Oh, well, that definitely comes across. This movie also joins a select group of films that I love because it has a child confronting a lawyer with some really strong truths. That moment when the lawyer says, "Why didn't you do anything?" and what does the character say? What do you say? Why didn't you do it?
Why didn't you help?
You're right.
It was fun, and I actually think it's a bit more Mason, to be honest. So we intended with that scene that she's starting off really trepidatious, unconfident, finding her voice, and by the end, she has found it. And so each answer becomes stronger and with more conviction. And so that's sort of the most conviction that Josephine has, which is Mason. She's someone who's like very strong-willed and knows what she wants, and so I think for me, I was when she said that line, I was like, "There's our girl."
It's an incredible moment in the movie, and I think audiences are reacting to that moment especially.
Yeah.
What is it like being at a festival like Sundance in its final year in Park City, and everything that Sundance represents in terms of indie filmmaking and indie spirit? Do you have any thoughts about that?
It's my first time here, so I'm just feel so lucky that I get to be here, and the last time it's going to be in Park City, and to get to celebrate all these amazing independent films.
It's my 20th year anniversary. I brought a Guide to Recognizing Our Saints here that did really well, and it was sort of my first experience at a festival in general, so this is a bit of a homecoming. So I'm very, very, very proud to, especially with this movie specifically. I just love this film, and to be closing it out in Park City, and I know that Sundance is going to go on and become something somewhere else and new, and I'm so excited to see what that's going to be.
Yeah, I was there for that year with Dito's film.
Oh yeah,
it's incredible.
Oh yeah, it was such a beautiful year.
Yeah,
it's a great year for film.
I'm just gonna say we shot the punching of the mom's belly scene at the labs, and that was really informative for me, because I was really committed to shooting it in a one take, and I remember Robert came up to me and he said after he watched my scene, she's just waiting. She's not living. She's just waiting. And you're going to have to find a way, if you really want to work in this style ever, that you're going to have to let each of these characters live in who they are in every single moment. And that was such a wonderful piece of advice. And so for me, being here, honoring him, just seeing what one man can make such a difference in this world for independent cinema, just in general, what he did for, what he's done for all of us, the legacy he lives, it feels so wonderful to honor him here with this.
Yeah. Thank you for opening this story up for all of us. I know that it's a personal one for you too. And for all of you, and Mason, congratulations on this big breakthrough for you. We're going to see lots more from you, I think. Thank you all.